Hello everyone, and welcome back to the 3T Path channel, and welcome back to our Uddhava-gita course. And this is the 108th class, very auspicious 108th class of this Uddhava-gita course. And of course, if you want to watch the whole course, all you have to do is become a member of this channel, and the instructions are here in the description of the video. And then you go to Uddhava-gita.com, where you can see the whole course nicely organized. And this class, it's nice that this is the 108th class, because Krishna is going to give us very simple, clear instructions, easy to perform. It's a beautiful path. It's what I always try to explain in the 3T path. A beautiful path open to everyone to attain Him, to attain spiritual realization, to attain the kingdom of God. It's all easily available through your life. This is what's so beautiful about this system. It's not about going somewhere else and living in a cave or doing something crazy. It's through your life, and we'll see that today. So let's get to it first though. So we are in the 11th Canto, 18th chapter, verse 42. So Krishna's been talking about the Varna and the Ashram, the varnashrama system. And now he's going to just give us 1 point instructions on each of the ashrams, and then proceed to more general comments of how everything ties together. So he says, the main dharmic duties of a sannyasi are equanimity and non-violence. Whereas for the vanaprastha, it's austerity and philosophical understanding of the difference between the body and soul are prominent. The main duties of a householder, of a married person, is to give shelter to all living entities and to perform yagyas. And the brahmachari is mainly engaged in serving the spiritual master. So the 4 ashrams he has been talking about, we've been going over this for weeks and weeks now. So we have the brahmachari, we have the grihasta, we have the vanaprastha, and we have the sannyas. So the brahmachari, the student life. So what's the purpose of the student? What's the main dharmic responsibility of a student? To serve the teacher, to be able to learn, to be respectful, to absorb the teachings, that and absorb, be inspired, to be guided by the teacher, the guru, etc. So of course that's the objective of the young person, to learn from the elder and the more wise. Now, once that young person now becomes a fully grown adult, they have their own family, they're the household, they're the grihasta, the second ashram. So what's the main dharma, what's the main responsibility of a married, or if you have your home, your wife, child, husband, so what's your main responsibility? To give shelter to all living entities. So you're giving shelter, to your family, not just your family though. You want to be sure that you're responsible, because you're producing, you're going to the trouble anyway. You're producing, you've got a job, because that's what it means to be a grihasta. You have to, take care of the house, of children, family members, society, you pay taxes. So you're just taking care. You're the active member of society, taking care of everyone. Making sure everyone is okay, not just your family, but every living entity, Krishna says. Now, then you go up, then you've done that for decades. Now you want to retire, your children have grown up. So what do? Vanaprastha, it's time to take a step back. It's time to start unwinding your life in your material engagements. And then what's the main dharmic duty of a vanaprastha? Austerity. Just start practicing tapas. You want to start not focusing on comfort and material pleasure. You want to start focusing on understanding the difference between the body and soul. You don't want to die while you still haven't gotten this. You don't want to do that. You don't want to die again confusing yourself with your body. We've done that life after life, and then we get stuck here in the cycle of birth and death because of it. So, okay, you've done that, but now focus on that. Start doing the tapas you might have to do some austerities of the body so that you kind of disconnect from the body, so you're not so identified with the body. So sometimes people will do that. They remember he talked about having the 4 fires around you under the hot summer sun or being in the cold river. It's just like start stepping back, start disconnecting yourself from the body a bit and understanding the difference between body and soul. So that's for the vanaprastha. And then lastly, for the sannyas, then you're just fully in non-violence and equanimity. That's the main thing. You just don't have to do anything else. Just try to stay, equipoised in your soul, focused in your true self, and thus your equanimity. You don't care what's going on outside. And there were some crazy practices. We saw people like really submitted themselves to horrible situations outside because I'm just so focused inside, I really don't care what's going on outside because you're focused on your true self. And then non-violence. You want to make sure that you're just a source of light, of well-being for those. So you would never harm anyone, you never want to do anything. It's just non-violence and equanimity. So very nice conclusion of the 4 ashrams, the main dharmic duties of the 4 ashrams. Purport. The brahmachari lives in the ashram of the spiritual master and personally assists the acharya. Householders generally are entrusted with the performance of sacrifice and deity worship and should provide maintenance for all living entities. The vanaprastha must clearly understand the difference between body and soul in order to maintain his status of renunciation, and he should also perform austerities. The sannyasi should fully absorb his body, mind, and words in self-realization. Having thus achieved equanimity of mind, he is the best well-wisher of all living entities. Okay, verse 43. Now, some specific instructions. A householder may approach his wife for sex only at the time prescribed for begetting children. But actually, it doesn't say that in the verse. That's Prabhupada's translation. What the verse actually says is that the grihastha should go at the rito at the proper time. That's all it says. Should approach his wife at the proper time. Now, the proper time, when you go to other texts, it's just like not during menstruation. That is the only restriction for sex for a household that's given in the Vedas. Don't have sex when your wife is menstruating, which is kind of duh. Thank you. I think I was going to do that anyway. But that's what it is. That's it. Because Prabhupada was a bit anti-sex. So then he came up with this thing, which is actually a Christian thing. It's actually an early Christian thing, that you should only have sex with your wife to have children. That was like back in early Christianity, because Prabhupada was brought up in this Christian environment. He got that. So then, and he tried. So this is like the followers. This isn't even Prabhupada translating. This is the followers of Prabhupada. So they were just imitating Prabhupada. But actually it doesn't say that in Sanskrit, and that's not the rule. It wouldn't make any sense. So no, a householder may approach his wife for sex at the appropriate time, at the proper time, which means not during menstruation. Otherwise, the menstruation. And otherwise, the householder should practice celibacy, austerity, cleanliness of mind and body, satisfaction in his natural position, and friendship towards all living entities. Worship of me is to be practiced by all human beings, regardless of social or occupational division. So then he says, look, you should, in general, everybody should, if you can't have sex with your wife at the proper time, then you shouldn't have sex at all. Of course, you couldn't go around having sex with other people. That's not Vedic. That generates a lot of mental anxiety, a lot of social problems, emotional problems. It's a huge mess when you have sex with anyone outside of like having sex with your wife at the proper time. So if you can't do that, just be celibate. Of course, you could masturbate. That doesn't count as sex. They don't talk about it much in the scriptures, but there's no problem with that either. So if you can't, just don't go having sex with everybody. That's the worst thing. So celibacy in that sense, brahmachari, tapa, you should always practice tapas. We always talk about tapas. That's the core practice. Tapas means that you don't give in to just whatever thought, desire, thing you want to do, but that instead you focus on Dharma. Like, what is appropriate? What is correct? What should I do? What's within? What is my... So then you focus on doing the right thing, not just what you want to do. So that's tapas. We also should all practice tapas. Socham, cleanliness. We should all practice socham. We need to practice this cleanliness. It's always at the top of the list. The first niyamas in the Yoga Sutras, socham. It's always at the top of the list. Just cleanliness, organization, body, mind, clean clothes, clean house, clean. It's just socham is very important because it's sattva. It's a manifestation of sattva guna. So it helps you. It affects your consciousness. It makes everything better. Santosha, also in the list of the niyamas. Santosha, just be satisfied, full satisfaction. Don't be always wanting something else. Be grateful for what you have. Whatever you have, be grateful for it. Feel the satisfaction of having whatever you have. Just be satisfied. Of course, you do your best, but just be satisfied with what you have, though. So santosha is always there in the list as well. And then, of course, friendship to all living beings, Bhuta Suridam, very nice. Just be nice, be a good person. Friendship to all living beings, beautiful instruction. So just be kind to everyone. Why not, right? Just be a friend to everyone. It's so nice when you just have this mentality and you just go out in the world. It's like, how can I help you? What can I do for you? You know, like, just be a friend. You don't have to like knock on people's door and say, how can I help you? But just be willing. Everybody comes up to you, yes, you know, just be a friend to all living entities, not just humans, but to nature. Be kind to nature, to animals. Of course, it's a beautiful spiritual mentality. So this is Krishna's instructions. It's very nice. Just practice these things. This is for, you know, household. This is for everyone. Practice these things. You know, just control your sex impulses. And just it's not difficult. Just don't be crazy about the sex desire because it's a strong desire. So it can lead you astray. Control that a little bit, and then just, you know, tapas, socham, santosha. These wonderful things. It just makes your life much better. Verse 44. One who worships me. Now this is now we're getting to the essence here, and this is what I'm always talking about here. This is what I'm always focusing on in the 3T path here. But listen to this. This is Krishna now, he's going to wrap it up. Easy instructions, joyfully performed for you to go back home, back to Godhead. One who worships me by his dharma. Swadharmena, by your dharma, he says, one who worships me by their dharma. Having no other object of worship, and who remains conscious of me, Krishna is saying, as present in all living beings, achieves unflinching devotional service to me. Look at this, it's so simple. Stick to your dharmas. That's what tapas is. Stick to your dharmas. Don't go crazy. Don't go, oh, I feel whatever I want to do. Okay, you can do lots of, but is it dharmic? Is it within codes of, or is it friendly to all living entities, including yourself? Is it nice? Is it proper? Is it appropriate for you to do it? Okay, there's so many things. So that's your dharma. Huge variety, whatever. You're not limited. It's not a limiting life. Your dharma can include whatever, climbing mountains, you know, flying jets. It can include being an artist, being a writer. It can include being a businessman, becoming a billionaire. Your dharma can include all these things. It's no limitation. There's like this, what's limiting is just like, is it correct? Is it appropriate? Is it just basic morality, just basic principles? That's what Dharma is. You have a north. You have like, okay, you know, that wouldn't be good because that would hurt some people. That would destroy the planet. That would, you know, you would just, that's what you focus on. I want to be a friend to all living entities. I want to be clean. I want to be satisfied. So it's huge. So within your dharmas, so just focus, worship me by your dharmas. That's what that's the basic instruction I'm always giving in the 3T path. Do your dharmas as an offering to Krishna. This is Krishna saying, worship me by your dharmas. Just live your life. Oh, how do I satisfy God? Do I have to do something incredible? Do I have to convert the world? No. What you have to do is just your dharmas. Live your life. The best version of your life. The best version of you. The nicest, kindest, best version of you. Doing your duties. Your job, taking care of your family, cleaning your house, socham, cleaning, maintaining everything nice, organized. Do that as an offering to Krishna. Simple, joyful, because it's so good, just doing your dharmas. It's just so wonderful. If you have no devotion, you have no idea of spirituality, just doing your dharma, that's the whole Buddhism. Buddhism is just about dharma. That's it. Just forget the desires, focus on dharma. That's Buddha's instruction. That's so joyful already. That's why Buddha is so joyful. Just do your dharma. That's already a wonderful life you can have. Your mind in the here and now, doing your dharma, you have a wonderful life. Now Krishna, in yoga, we just, Buddha, they didn't have the Krishna idea. Buddha removed the idea of just to focus. Look, guys have to understand this dharma is so important. So he just emphasized that point, because it's very important. But the original instruction, the pre-Buddha original instruction is, worship me through your dharma. Worship Krishna through your dharma. So then one way, see Krishna in everything. Remain conscious of me in all living beings. Krishna talks about this in Bhagavad-gita as well. One who sees me in everyone is always with me, and I'm always with them. Because if you're always with Krishna, Krishna is always with you. So if you want to be with God and God to be with you, you have to see Krishna everywhere, in all living beings, because that's what he is. You're seeing the truth. It's not something you're making up. God is within, Paramatma. He is within every living entity. Something can't be alive without the presence of the soul and the super soul, Atma, Paramatma. Something is alive because there is a spiritual spark, the soul, Atma, and next to that, every Atma is Paramatma, is Krishna, is God. In every living being. So then you're seeing that, you're just seeing the truth, because you're enlightened now. You have received knowledge and you can see it. That's all you have to do. And if you do that, you will achieve unflinching devotional service to me. Mad bhakti. Bhakti to me, that's unflinching, dridham, fixed, solid, wonderful. Very important verse. Let me read the next verse. Verse 45. My dear Uddhava, I am the Supreme Lord of all worlds, and I create and destroy this universe, being its ultimate cause. I am thus the absolute truth, and one who worships me with unfailing devotional service comes to me. So just to, this is it. This is, I am the Lord. I'm the one who's behind all this. Creation, destruction, the whole thing. It's all me. I'm taking care of everything. So you definitely do want to be connected to me. I'm the ultimate cause. I am actually the source of everything. So we use this term, absolute truth. I'm Brahma, I'm everything. I'm everything. So I am everything, and thus, if you have this unflinching devotional service, you'll come to me. You'll come to me. That's how you come to Krishna. You go through bhakti, through love, through devotion. Purport. As described in the first canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, Lord Krishna is understood in three features: Brahman, Paramatma, and ultimately Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. The source of everything. Lord Krishna absorbs the impersonal philosophers into the rays of his body, appears before the perfect yogis as the Lord of the heart, and ultimately brings his pure devotees back to his own abode for an eternal life of bliss and knowledge. Verse 46. Thus, one who has purified his existence by execution of his Dharma. Swadharma, the same word, Swadharma, your Dharma. If you speak a Latin like me, Latin, Swadharma, in Portuguese, seu Dharma, same word in Sanskrit, Swa, became Sua, Su in Spanish, Swa, your Dharma. So if you do your Dharma, you've purified your existence. How did you purify? Did you have to do some crazy rituals? Did you have to get some special thing? Did you get, the blessings of some priest or brahmana? No. Did you have to do, some intense austerities, standing on one leg for 100 years? No. All you have to do is your Dharma. Look at this. All you have to do, you've purified your existence by doing your Dharma, which again is very joyful. It's wonderful to do your thing. It's just like a natural thing. You feel satisfied. You do your Dharma, you do your duty, you feel good. It's nice to have done your part. It's nice to be a good father. It's nice to be a good citizen. It's nice to be a good husband. It feels good. It's nice to take care of your body, to do your Dharma of taking care of yourself. It's nice to develop your spiritual life, to take care of your spiritual Dharma. It's nice to take care of the planet. It feels good. So it's easy, and it's easy. Why is it easy? Because Dharma means your essence. It's not something else you're twisting yourself to become. It's just being you. One of the concepts of Dharma that I try to explain is that Dharma means you being yourself. That's why it's so good. Not when we're just trying to think of goal, I want to make money. So then you twist yourself to accept this, to go to, you get a crummy university diploma you didn't really want because you thought that might help you get an advantage to make some money and then you have this job you hate, but it helps you make money, and and you're just all twisted and unhappy. But Dharma just means, no, I'm not looking for that. I'm looking just to be myself. I want to be myself. My goal is to be true to myself, to be the best version of me. Not the richest, not the most famous, not the most beautiful. These are all external results. We don't care about that. I want to be the best version of me, and that feels great. That's what you want to do. That's what everybody wants to do. People figure this out. Oh, I should have done. Just be yourself. Oh no, I should be a lawyer because it's impressive. No, what if you really wanted to be an artist? Be an artist. Be a musician. Be yourself. You don't have to be rich, famous, or anything else. You have to be yourself. Swadharma. So it's a wonderful thing. It's easy. So you purify your existence by having the best life you could have. It's a wonderful combination. That's why I love this. Krishna's instructions are so perfect. Have your best life. And that's how you're going to please me. And it please me by having your best life. So you've purified your existence by the execution of your Swadharma. And then, on top of your Swad, because you can't just do your Dharma, on top of that, what else do you have to do? You add just the spiritual, which is your Dharma. It's a spiritual, it's called Sanatana Dharma, the eternal Dharma. And that eternal Dharma includes fully understands my supreme position. So because you're not just your body, you're not just this incarnation, you're this eternal soul. So part of your Dharma, your spiritual Dharma, I call that the seventh Dharma. So your spiritual Dharma is to understand your nature, spiritual nature, to understand who God is, where you are, where you've come from, the laws of karma. So understanding these things, cultivating jnana yoga. So cultivating knowledge, understanding these things, also very pleasurable, very joyful. When you understand things, it's wonderful to finally understand things. Right? I mean, I have that, in my students, I finally understand that, I finally have the answers. It's wonderful. So you have jnana, and then how do you get this jnana? You're endowed with scriptural and realized knowledge. Yeah, you just cultivated knowledge like you're doing here, studying this wonderful Uddhava-gita text. That's it, that's all you have to do. It's very nice. You just cultivate this knowledge, Uddhava-gita, Bhagavad-gita, the rest of the Bhagavad Purana here, Yoga Sutras. Cultivate this knowledge. And then he says, very soon you will achieve me. Very soon, just like, your life, anytime, that's it, you're done. You're not going to reincarnate. You don't have to, you're done. That's it, you've graduated. This is Krishna saying beautiful, very important verses. Verse 47. Those who are followers of this varnashrama system accept dharmic principles according to authorized traditions of proper conduct. When such varnashrama duties are dedicated to me in loving service in bhakti, they award the supreme perfection of life. It's not just like a little perfection or an okay perfection, it's the supreme perfection of life. And what is the supreme perfection? I mean, when God is talking about the supreme perfection of life, you want to listen closely. So what is he saying? He's saying, just follow this system. I've given this system, I've created this varnashrama system, not the crazy version that you might have gotten, the twisted version, horrible caste system. No, Krishna's version, which is free from prejudice, free from crazy ideas, free from materialistic concepts. Krishna's original version is very nice. Just understanding, respecting the phases of life, from student life to renounced sannyas life, respecting the different varnas, the different inclinations people have, and it's all good. It doesn't matter if your inclination is to do physical work, to be a Shudra. It doesn't matter. It doesn't make you any better or worse than a person who's an intellectual or Brahmana, because it's doing your Dharma. He didn't say, oh, if you do the Dharma of a Brahmana, then you attain perfection. He says, if you do your Dharma. So if your Dharma is cooking, if your Dharma is laying bricks, that is perfect as any other, as long as you're doing your Dharma. That's the only thing you have to worry about. Is it my Dharma? Is it my true nature? That's what Krishna is saying. So, if you follow this varnashrama system that I've created, not the distorted version, and you do those things dedicated to me, because again, you can't just be a materialist. And Krishna says this, the famous conclusion of the Bhagavad-gita, Sarva Dharmam Parijya Mam Ekam Sharat. So he says, Arjuna, don't just depend on your Dharma, come to me, take shelter of me alone. Eka, alone, just me. So you have to have this spiritual, do your things, your dharmas, as a loving offering to Krishna. So then you connect. That's why I say Dharma is your bridge between matter and spirit. You're spirit, you're stuck in matter. How do you join those two things? You do your matter, your duties, your material duties, your dharmas very nicely as an offering with love for Krishna, as an offering, as a devotional offering to Krishna. So then you've connected your day-to-day life, cleaning the house, going to work, driving, paying your taxes, organizing community activities, helping the planet. All these things which are mundane have now become transcendental because you're doing them for Krishna. That's the key point. So, these award the supreme perfection of life. Purport. According to the varnashrama system, the members of different orders and statuses of life have many traditional duties, such as worshipping the forefathers to save them from possible sinful reactions. All such Vedic rituals, sacrifices, austerities, and so forth should be offered to the lotus feet of Lord Sri Krishna. They then become the transcendental means for going back home, back to Godhead. In other words, Krishna consciousness, or bhakti to Lord Krishna, is the sum and substance of progressive human life. Okay, last verse of the chapter, verse 48. My dear saintly Uddhava, I have now described to you, just as you inquired, the means by which my devotee, perfectly engaged in his Dharma, again, same word, swadharma, your Dharma, their Dharma. So perfectly engaged in their Dharma can come back to me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And that's what Krishna ends. Our Uddhava, you asked me, how can everybody come to me? How is it? This is how they do it. He explained the whole system and the key point. So I hope you got this. Very important. If you just understand this one class, if you can practice just what I just taught in this one class, you will attain the supreme perfection of life. So that's it. Have the rest of your day with lots of peace and lots of love. Hare Krishna.